Welcome to Let's Tell You. If this is your first time, I am Nez. It's nice to see you. How you doing? If this is your first time, welcome back. Guys, today's book. I love today's book, okay? Let me clear my voice more. The name of this book is called The Four Agreements. Now, first of all, I'll start by apologizing, right? I read this book. This was one of the books that changed my life in 2003. And I thought I had talked about it. I suspect I may have done some recordings, and then I ended up not showing. Like, I don't even understand what happened. See, your girl has been going through a lot, okay? Anyway, in the summary of me going through a lot, I forgot to talk about the four agreements with you, and I am so sorry for that. Anyway, I remembered again, and I'm like, okay, so let us get back to it, and let's talk about it. So I re-listened to it. I listened to it on YouTube. That YouTube one, I don't know if it's a pure link. But I had listened to it first on Spotify. Now, I'm sure I've talked about it once that it's possible to find books on Spotify. There was this guy back then that used to just read books and all that, but that guy is gone. Anyway, back to The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements is a book written by Don Manuel Ruiz. I've forgotten his name. I'll write his name here, don't worry. And this book is one of those books that are like, it changes the way you tend to look at life, you know. But the base, like the foundation of the story is that, or the foundation of this book is that your life as you know it is filled with a lot of suffering and pain that you may have inflicted on yourself without knowing that you have. As a society, you've been squeezed and squashed and forced to fit into a particular mold, which is causing you more pain. It makes you judgmental to yourself. It makes you unfair to yourself. It makes you punish yourself. Do you understand? In the process of trying to fit in, you bend yourself to an income to what am I saying? It makes you bend into uncomfortable positions just to fit into a place, and sometimes you stay there for so long you don't even know that it's the major cause of a pain that you feel. Okay, and the four agreements are the agreements that you then have to make to be able to come out from those situations. Okay, so let us start, because this book, if I try to get into all the premises and everything that you talk about, I'll talk about this book for the next 2 hours. But let me just tell you the basic, the name, title is Four Agreements. I'll just tell you about the four agreements. Good? Okay, so like and follow if you haven't already, and please leave a comment below if you know anything about the book, or if you're interested. Let me know what can be done, because I actually haven't found it anywhere to buy, you know. But like I said, I found the link on YouTube. I'll leave the link here. Hopefully it will still be there by the time you see this video. Okay, agreement number 1: your words must always be impeccable. Okay, this is me, I'm using my own words, this is not how it was written there, but the bottom line is that your words have to be impeccable. Now, I had to go and research the meaning of the word impeccable. We talk about taste. This person has impeccable taste, impeccable manner, but I've never heard impeccable words before. Actually, the original word impeccable came from a Latin word which means in pace or something like that, or in pace, something like that. In means not, pace means sin. So your words must not sin. Yep, somebody get me a pulpit. Find me a pulpit. Glory. Okay. I'm joking, I beg. Okay, so your words being impeccable is pretty much the belief that God created the world through his words. The Bible said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And God created you. What that means is that the things that you say are part of the agreements that you have with yourself. If you believe that you're going to be sick, you're going to be sick. If you agree, do you understand, that you're dumb, then you're dumb. If you agree that you're smart, then you're smart. Your words are they are sources of creation. There is creation in your word. That also includes the words you tell others. Because interestingly, when you tell people things, you're not actually talking about them. Most times you're talking about yourself, according to this book. So if you look at someone and say, that's a very foolish thing to do, you are talking about your idea of what foolish is, and you're imposing it on someone else. So in that same breath, when somebody calls you foolish, you cannot accept the word. If someone tells you you're a stupid person, you do not accept that it is stupid, because in accepting it, you have made an agreement that yes, you are stupid. So agreement number 1 is your words must be impeccable. Your words must be without sin. Another word that describes impeccable is faultless. So your words must not be faultless. And you know how our grandmothers used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. I think that's where this kind of things come from. If you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say. Just keep quiet. Don't be out here dishing out horrible things out there in the name of you're trying to be honest, okay? So your words must be impeccable. That's number one. Remember number one because I'll ask you. Number two, do not take anything personal. Now, interestingly, this actually piggybacks off the first one, because if anything anybody tells you, you take it personal, you are leading yourself to more and more suffering. Remember, we're trying to relieve ourselves from suffering. So the words that you were told when you were a child, the words that you were told just today when you went outside and you drove anyhow, or you just mistakenly bumped into someone, do not take it personal. Number one, first of all, people are not thinking about you like that. Like, people don't care about you that much. Like, nobody really has time. People are busy, wrapped up in their own world. They don't have time to stay. Do you understand? So people just say things without thinking to say. That is why we need to train ourselves to be impeccable with our words, because our words need to have weight. However, when you take things personal, when someone tells you something, especially when it is negative, you take it on and then you start to suffer from those words. Now, the interesting thing is that as time goes by, the fact that the person said it deteriorates. Like, you don't even remember who said it, but you take on the word becomes life. It becomes like a seed in you, and then you grow that seed. So someone tells you, you're really bad at singing. You agree with yourself. I am bad at singing. You've forgotten who told you. You've forgotten when the person said it. You've forgotten the occasion. But you just know you've concluded that. So it's like you sit down, you make an agreement with yourself. Okay, so I actually don't know how to sing. Meanwhile, one of your gifts in this life may be to sing. But because someone one time when they were tired or something told you, you took it personal, and so do not take it personal. That's number two. Number three, make no assumptions. This one, I can die on this table for the next 5 years if need be. I'm someone that has I always try to clarify things. I think I must have been hurt at some point when I was younger that made me believe that, see, anything that you want to do in this life, be sure, they carry what you don't know. Like, I'm somebody, when we're dating, when I was dating somebody, I'll ask you, what do you want from me? Because I needed to be clear. I don't need okay, so it's like I like you, but I don't like you like girlfriend. Let us just be friends. Let's just be looking. And that was never my life. Like, to me, I feel like the confusion is just too much. But enough about me. Back to the book. People, I told you before, just like when I talked about not taking things personal. People are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. So when somebody calls you a name or frowns at you a certain way or treats you a certain way, they're likely not even. I don't know if you understand. They don't have that much. You're the one that's thinking about yourself. Do not make any assumption. If it's a relationship that is important to you, try to get as clear as possible. Now, interestingly, in clarity, he said that the reason why a lot of us work on assumption is there's a point of vulnerability where you have to now ask questions, and those questions, they are painful for us to do, but you have to get past it. It's a lot of work, actually. The entire 4 agreements for you to make your life better, it's a lot of work you have to do. So you have to get to a point where you can sit somebody down and tell the person, do you love me or don't you love me? And even though it might sound needy, even though it might sound, I don't know, it might sound like gutter behavior, but you ask that question. So if the person cannot give you a straight answer, do you understand? You know what is happening. You get that way. You just know, okay, so you don't love me, make I pack my things, they go. You get, or I don't know, I'll find how I'll manage this. Okay, so why did you talk to me that way? I didn't really enjoy this whole passive aggressive situation we like doing. It doesn't help you. It leads to a lot of unnecessary suffering. And there are people, I'm sure it has happened to you, there are people that you treated a certain way at some particular point, you've forgotten about it. 10, 15 years, person will come and say, that person that did that thing to me that time, you're like, sorry, what? That is what an assumption is. Meanwhile, that day you may have been going through something else and you were just doing something else. Your mind not even did this matter. So do not make any assumptions. Relationships that are important to you, give them the how do I put it? Give them the rating that they need by getting to the point where you have honest conversations. Ask questions. Be prepared to be vulnerable. It is tough. If your boss treats you a certain way, please, sir, what did I do to do that? Do you understand? Get to the point where it is black and white. Don't be doing, I don't know, it looks like she did like this, so that means it's like this. See, your life is not a guessing game. Don't allow anybody to do it like that. Once you start feeling like the person is using it to guess, just remove yourself. Put the person somewhere as a then if a stranger, just don't make any assumption. Don't take it personal. Just keep it moving. Okay? So that's number 3. How long is this video? This video is getting long. Okay, so continue though. Number 4, which is one that ties up everything. Always do the best that you can. In everything that you do, you're going to get to a point where you might need where you might lead to regret. Does that make any sense? Something might happen to you where you need to, not you will need to, but you might regret something that you did. A regret becomes smaller when you know that you did the best you can based off what you had available at that time, based on the knowledge that you had. If you're someone who the job that you do it so hard, you just do it because salary, will just do it anyhow. The issue is that if you don't do it well, it affects the quality. It affects the quality you give to the work, and in the quality that you give to the work, it affects the quality that you give your life. You have to be able to do, like, think about it like if you're going to do something, do it like it's your whole being that depends on it, using the best knowledge that you have. One of the examples I like to give is when it comes to parenting. We're at the point where we are understanding now that, especially us that are becoming parents now and have parents, we are at the point where we are becoming judges to our own parents. My pastor will tell you that is when your children grow up that they'll give you a report card about the kind of parents you were. And the thing with parenting is that when you do what you thought was best, you realize that for that child, they may have not experienced it the way you thought you were doing it. Now, imagine if you went down doing your best. Imagine if you're just doing things happen. You're like, well, I beg, I had a lot on my mind. I was this, or so that kind of thing. So that time passes. Your child will tell you, you never played with me. You never smiled. I never saw you dancing. I never saw your mommy hug or you and daddy hug. I never saw you. You never looked at my books. You never came for my dance. You're like, well, I had a little. You did not do your best in that parenting work. I'm telling you, with the knowledge that you have at that time, do your best. That way, the regrets and the guilt that will come later on in life kind of fizzles out because you did the best that you could. And if you get to a point where you teach your children to be empathetic, and that is what doing the best does, because it's a place of action. If you teach your children to be empathetic, if you are empathetic, you teach your children to be empathetic. If you do that, do you understand? Your children are more willing to forgive the actions that you took. That doesn't mean you should go around doing wicked things, shall. Okay, don't say I didn't tell you. So that is it. There are different levels and angles to this book. This book is like it's fire. It's very hot. It's a hot book, right? And if I get into all of them, like he had so many, what are those things called? Metaphors. He talked about heaven on earth and hell on earth. He talked about the concept of a society, a dream where there's a reality and then there's a dreamscape. There's a dream, the dream that is your reality, that your personal reality, then the dream of the society. So like there are different whatever. All of them tied to this things I just explained to you. And I think this is a book everybody should read. Like, I dare to say this is a book everybody should read. So that's it. I'm done. I don't want to say more because I feel like if I say more, this video gets way too long. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to share the next video with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please share the video to more people. And then if you read this book already, please, I want to hear what you think about it down there, or what you think about the way I even presented it. Is there any question you have? I'm willing to answer because this book is fire. I love it. Until next time, see you.